Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Keith L. Brown. Uncle Keith is here. Mr. Impossible. Listen, in spite of the technical difficulties, we gonna make it anyway. You see all the shirts in the background. You see it right here. We gonna make it anyway. Shout out to the Savannah State University, my alma mater, all HBCUs across the country. I have some awesome guests tonight, but you're gonna know we gotta kick it off like this, y'all, on this tremendous Thursday. Shout out to Historically Black Sense and nephew LD from CAU, Clark Atlanta University. LD in the building, engineer, producer. Shout out to Historically Black Sense and the visionary advocating Adrena Martin. So let's kick it like this. Yeah! Hey, come on, come on. Put your hands up. We gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. Check it. We gonna make it anyway. Check it, listen. We gonna make it anyway. Hey, I'm Uncle Keith. I don't stand on the fence. Tonight I'm down with Historically Black Sense, and that's all right. You can hate on me any day, but regardless, we gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. Hey, we gonna make it anyway. Come on, come on. We gonna make it anyway. Hey, we gonna make it anyway. So check it. Hey, keep your head up, keep your mind right, keep your attitude straight, keep it real tight, and that's all right. Don't give up anyway, or don't give up, keep pressing every day. You are somebody, you were made to be great. Be early, on time, never be late, and that's all right. When the haters come, you just stay, because guess what? We gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. Come on, come on. We gonna make it anyway. Come on, come on. We gonna make it anyway. Listen, we gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. Yeah. Yes. We gonna make it anyway, y'all. We gonna make it anyway. This is the launch, the official launch of the We Gon Make It Anyway HBCU campaign. I gotta let y'all know I got my shirt on as well. I got on that orange for the Savannah State University. I got a little blue for Savannah State. I got my pink on for breast cancer awareness. So to all of you, those of you who have been impacted by breast cancer or you're being impacted by breast cancer, I want you to know we gonna make it anyway. And that goes for domestic violence awareness. You see the purple T in the back for domestic violence awareness. So we are here just representing for the I'm Possible movement, the We Gon Make It Anyway movement. And I came up with this because, you know, most people say we gonna make it. You know, when you're going down, they say we gonna make it. But I added something to that. I trademarked we gonna make it anyway. And when you add the anyway, that lets you know there are going to be trials and tribulations in your life, but you're still going to overcome as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't give in. You got to say 4 affirmations every day. I can, I will, I must, and I got this. I can, I will, I must, and I got this. And so that's why we started the We Gon Make It Anyway movement, and we started our first campaign with HBCUs. What a great place to start, because historically Black colleges and universities are the foundation, not only for the Black community, but in many arenas across the world. So we want to start off our first campaign at our historically Black colleges and universities, and I have awesome scholar leaders from HBCUs tonight. I have an awesome alum. I have a nationally known spoken word artist, and they're about to come in the studio right now. And when they come in, they can't hear you, but guess what? I know you see them. So when they come in, I need y'all, whether you in your living room, the dining room, wherever you are, if you on the yard, on campus, make some noise. Let's bring them in, LD. Yes, all the panelists tonight, what's up? I need y'all to come off mute and make some noise right now. Come off mute right now. Make some noise.
What's up?
Yeah. That's what it is, y'all. So we're going to get this show started. And before I introduce everyone, well, let me do this. I want to introduce everyone first before I bring on this nationally known spoken word artist. And this is how we're going to do it, because here at the We Gon Make It Anyway movement at Historically Black Sense, we do this thing creatively. So they're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to know whose time it is to step up to the plate based on what I say right now. Listen, she is a young woman of excellence who decided to be a Trojan and come in in her first year and get into SGA and make it happen. She is a women's empowerment speaker. She's a scholar. She is resilient. And in her life, she says, we gonna make it anyway. She is the freshman class president. Come on, right there, Virginia State University. Y'all put y'all hands together. Come on in the building and introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Aaliyah Gardner. I am the freshman class president over at Virginia State University, Hale State, and I am honored to be on this panel with you all tonight.
All right, GOODJOB, good job, good job. Y'all know what time it is. And listen, Aaliyah, when you answering some questions, I want you to be even louder. I need y'all to have my volume tonight because Aaliyah trying to be shy, y'all. The thousands of y'all watching, she's trying to be shy. But this is what this We Gon Make It Anyway movement, it's a bold movement. And so when you come on that platform, you're going to be bold. I want y'all to be even louder. Aaliyah is the freshman class president and she's making it happen. But guess what? The freshman class president did not come alone. This young man is one of my nephews from across the country. He is a leader straight out of New York, New York. He is a leader with the President Obama's My Brother's Keeper program. And he's about to come on the platform. And guess what? His name is Justin, but I say he is just in time. What's up, nephew? Let's get it.
Hey, Uncle Keith. Hey, everybody. My name is Justin McDonald from Long Island, New York. I'm just happy to be here. I love it. I love Uncle Keith. When he asked me to be here, I couldn't say no.
Yeah, GOODJOB. Good job. Good job. Now, next up, this young lady is a We Gon Make It Anyway ambassador. And all I want to tell you is that she is critical. She was critical in getting legislation passed in the state of Delaware so that any youth in foster care who were going off to college and they went to a state institution in Delaware, they get to go to college for free. She's worked with the governor. She has worked with President Biden, the Biden administration, and she is here tonight from foster care to fostering hope. Hey, she's about to come on right now, and she's going to introduce herself. Come on.
Hey everyone, my name's Maida. I am so excited to be here. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow up on that intro, but nonetheless, I'm a graduate of Delaware State University, the only HBCU in the state of Delaware. I graduated with my bachelor's and my master's, so I'm here as an alumni. Excited to just share a little bit of insight and how we made it anyway through college. So yeah, thank you for having me, Uncle Keith, and I'm looking forward to the live.
Down State. Yeah, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that real loud from Delaware State. Y'all heard that. So Virginia State is representing. All right. I love Virginia State. I want y'all to know Delaware State is representing. I love Delaware State. And this next gentleman that's about to come up, all I can say right now, first of all, is boo, hey. I want you to know when you want your event emceed right and tight, you want to get this young man. I've seen him rock the house with thousands in the house. He travels around the country with me as well. I want him to unmute his mic. He's going to introduce himself right now, and y'all are in for a treat when y'all hear this young man of excellence.
Well, I got to follow up to finish what he said. Hey, boy. What's up, y'all? I go by the name MC, Mahjong Cradle, all the way from the big, the bad, the bold, 1865, Bowie State University, host, personality, and just overall ambassador. And I appreciate, of course, Uncle Keith reaching out to have me on the platform tonight. Super excited about the movement, the campaign, and where this is going. I'm here to have a good time, man. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, GOODJOB. Good job to you. GOODJOB. Good job to Maida, Aaliyah, Justin. I'm talking about Justified Justin, awesome Aaliyah, magnificent Maida, and the one and the only mobilizing MC. And guess what, y'all? You're in for a treat right now. You all are in for a treat right now. Nationally known spoken word artist, has won so many spoken word competitions across the country. works in my tribe with the likes of HBO's Def Poetry Jam on tour. You just know that greatness is in the building right now. I present to some and I introduce to others, none other than She Pharaoh. Yeah.
With all my love, peace and happiness, I'm gonna spit forever. With all my love, peace and happiness, I'm gonna spit forever. With all my love, peace and happiness, I'm gonna spit forever. They say that when I talk to my folks at home, I said bring that mess to school. It's not proper. It isn't the language of the educated nor the upper echelon. The broken English, the lack of inflection, the run-on sentences, they say that every time we speak, we sound like we're singing slave hymns on a planter's land, reminding them of all the woes of our past. To some, Geechee is ignorance, lack of culture, undeserving of reverence. You move your resorts onto our lands and unplanted our harvests, made backyards of our burial grounds, take our tongues and wash them. Your versions of clean and I am considered less intelligent because my people made color out of a dull language. We took your isn't and made them inks, your about tos and made them finners, going tos and made them goners, made your talking, clapping them jaws, made your mother's days and Mars, goings and made them gone, and are still able to differentiate between gone and gone. For example, I'm gonna go down there to that protest. I'll let you know when I'm gone. You made our language slang and refused to acknowledge it as a native tongue. We made yours. The barbaric language was shoved down our throats, yet our tongues still reject them in this rhythmic tone. You would love to call a slave hymn. We made hymnals out of your layman's terms, and you have the audacity to consider my Geechee broken? This ain't broken English. This ain't even a new language. This is Geechee. I am Gullah. This is Sosa, Latin, Germanic, Spanish with very little French influence. This is the language of the griots who sat by the gourd and told stories of the land before this time. This is the language of your ancestors who made the migration, and even those who died. This is the language my people carried to the north with the burdens of this nation on their backs. And it just so happens to be mixed with the Creole and the Patwa of the region. So nah, my Geechee ain't broken. My Geechee put Black America on its hip and carried through generations of popular culture, all the while the so-called educated tried to snuff out its flame, rendered the language of the classless, yet the higher classes get all kinds of surgeries to look more like us then. All we are reduced to are fat behinds and nice tans, and then our colloquialisms get stolen by them, even our mannerisms, even our hair, and here you are trying to reduce its significance to simply broken English, but my Geechee is whole. My Geechee is more than a slave hymn. It is the beat of the drum, the sway in my hips, the locks in my crown, the fullness of my lips, the authority in our voices. This is the way we communicate with each other and our other halves. This is the way we tell stories. Shoot, it's even in the way we... You's a fool. You is a fool. But nah, my Geechee ain't broken. It's just a bit more seasoning yours. This is Geechee. I am Gullah, and baby, I'm ready to go with all my love, peace and happiness. I'm gonna spit forever. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, I gotta. GOODJOB, good job, good job. 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 She Pharaoh. Yeah, my Geechee ain't broken. And guess what? When they put down our language and they put down our culture, when they minimize who we are, guess what? She Pharaoh just told y'all, we gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. So that's where I want to start right now. She Pharaoh, thank you so much. Y'all, come on. Y'all know out there. Y'all know how we do. Go ahead and put those fingers up. That's what Aaliyah, I'm loving that. Aaliyah, I'm loving your frames. I'm loving your frames. It lets me know you in the right frame of mind. So my freshman class president from the Virginia State University, Hale State, I want to start with you. And everybody, please answer this question. I want to start with you, Aaliyah, my niece, Aaliyah. What comes to mind? What comes to mind when you hear the term, we gonna make it anyway? What comes to mind when you hear the term, we gonna make it anyway?
Hi, everybody. What comes to mind when I hear "we gonna make it anyway" is just no matter what comes at you, no matter what they may throw at you, no matter who's throwing what, you gonna make it anyway. You gonna push through, you gonna persevere, and you gonna come out better because there's nothing that can stop you as long as you have that belief in you.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Yes, they can't stop you. You are definitely in the right frame of mind. I want to go to my nephew right now. I want to go to just in time. Just in time. When you hear the term, we gonna make it anyway, what do you think? What comes to mind?
As a Black male and Black person in general, we're always faced with some type of adversity, whether it's racial, mental, physical, and especially spiritual. But we always have to find a way to get through. There's always a way to get through. There's never going to be anything that can stop us as a people. You see, we keep on pushing. We are the masters of adversity. Adversity isn't the master of us. So we gonna make it anyway. It's not just a saying; it's a lifestyle.
Wow, I love that. We gonna make it anyway is not just a saying, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. She Pharaoh, when you hear the term, we gonna make it anyway, what comes to mind?
Ironically enough, I just released a book, and my book actually discusses the ability that we as Black people have to maneuver through adversity. Word to the brother Justin and word to the good sister Aliyah. To me, it just means being unyielding. Like you're not about to budge. You can't shake me. You can't move me. As uncomfortable as it may feel, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to execute. And so I'm going to execute regardless of what you say, you know? So yeah, it definitely makes me think about like the curiosity around what Blackness is, honestly.
I love that. I love that. Wow. Come on, y'all. Y'all are giving some deep answers here. And the depth is going to continue to go from my nephew. I am Project MC. My nephew, I am Project MC from the great Bowie State University. When you hear, we gonna make it anyway, what comes to mind, nephew?
So for me, when I hear the term "we gonna make it anyway," it just adds a stamp of no matter what's happening, the end result is going to be the same. You're going to get there, right? No matter the trial, no matter the tribulation, no matter what it is that you're going through, you're going to get there so long as you have just a little bit, of faith. Sometimes the obstacles we may come across, whether Black or whatever you may be dealing with, you feel me? Like whatever it is that you may be going through, sometimes the obstacle looks greater than you're stuck in that moment. You can't see past the obstacle. So all you see is this big mountain to get through. But it's like, there's a God that moves mountains. Again, I don't know everyone's spirituality or faith, but there's a God that moves mountains for a reason, So it's not about looking at what you're in right now, but just having the foresight that it doesn't stay like this. It doesn't end like this. So no matter what happens, it's the turn. We're going to make it anyway.
Man, that's deep. I love what you just said. That was so deep to me because you said, don't focus on the obstacle. Don't focus on what you're in. Focus on coming out. Don't focus on what you're in. Focus on coming out because you only have two options. Either you're going to make it or you're going to make it. Either you're going to win or you're going to win. Either you're going to be great or you're going to be great. Either you're going to be resilient or you're going to be resilient. So at the end of the day, as all of these shirts behind me say, we going to make it anyway. Man, that was deep. That was so deep. I want to go ahead and transition to one of my We Gon Make It Anyway ambassadors, one who grew up in foster care. When you hear the term, we gonna make it anyway, Maida, what comes to mind?
I feel like a lot of things come to mind, just because of that experience that I did have in foster care. But I think the one that immediately comes to mind when I hear "We're Gonna Make It Anyway" is actually I can't say the word, an analogy that I learned early on in my leadership when I was serving as president of a foster care group. So I was probably like 16 or 17. And my vice president at the time had shared something with me that really resonated with me, of like, even in these storms and the trials and tribulations, even on those dark days where like we don't know how we're gonna make it, right? Because it's so dark outside, it's not looking good. We don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But my vice president had made a comment that when he was flying, that the sun was still shining, and he was really shocked. Because what we don't realize is that, like, even on those dark days, the sun is still out, even if we don't see it. And I kind of like refer that to my own life, that even when I don't see it, even when I don't see the positives, even when I don't feel happy, that it's still inside of me. I just got to figure out how to bring it out and understand that I'm going to make it anyway. Because it's all there. It's just a matter of our mind and being able to kind of move forward through those dark times and know that, like, regardless, we're going to make it anyway. So that's kind of that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Wow. Listen, I'm just loving that, because right now it's dark where we are. Okay. I'm here in the great state of Georgia, the Peach State, right? And it's dark right here in the state of Georgia. But according to Maida, the sun is still shining. The sun is still out. Okay. And I can't see the sun, but it's still shining. So I need everybody out there, all of my HBCU scholars, administrators, alumni, just individuals in general. If you are watching, understand that it might look a little dim right now, but there's still light on the inside of you. You are still illuminated. There's still illumination on the inside of you. And you just have to believe we gonna make it anyway. And let me say this before we move any further. When I didn't say I'm gonna make it anyway. Okay. I didn't say that. I said we gonna make it anyway. Because if MC makes it and I don't, then I don't feel well. If I'm making it and Maida doesn't, I'm still not feeling well. If I'm making it and Aaliyah doesn't make it, I'm not feeling well. If I make it and She Farrell doesn't make it, then that doesn't maximize my happiness. If I make it and Just in Time doesn't make it, then I have not accomplished anything. And so we're talking about community here in the We Gon Make It Anyway HBCU campaign. It's about community. When we say we gon' make it anyway, regardless of what's going on, we gonna make it anyway. We just have to understand, as MC said, you got to keep the faith. As Aaliyah said, you got to keep going. You know, as She Farrell talked about, you know, that don't let anyone minimize your culture, your voice, your language. You have to keep going. And what Justin said, man, Justin Time said, we gonna make it anyway is not just a slogan. It is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So you have to say every day when you get up in the morning, okay, you have to say, we gonna make it anyway. And that causes you to help others. And the best way to get out of your situation is to help someone out of their situation, so we can collectively say, we gonna make it anyway. Man, this is so powerful tonight. I want to go right back to my purposeful panel right now. And I want to ask this question, okay? And She Farrell, you don't have to chime in on this one, but I do have to ask this question, okay, to the three of you at the bottom who are on the undergrad level, and then to my alum, okay, who recently got her master's degree. How has attending an HBCU been an asset? Listen, how has attending an HBCU been an asset in a world that attempts to minimize who you are? How has attending an HBCU been an asset or been a positive in a world that has attempted to minimize you all of your lives and still attempts to minimize you? When you are Black or a person of color, it's a world that wants you to be oppressed, suppressed, repressed, and depressed. So how has attending an HBCU helped you?
I'll say attending Bowie State, attending an HBCU, it reinstills that confidence and just having that support around you, and to be able to even look at other HBCUs and just see the success and what they're doing. To see that our current VP and now running for president of the United States is a Howard University graduate, like, just seeing the different success stories that come from HBCUs, doesn't matter what other folks say that try to tear us down, bring us down. We see the proof in the pudding. We see the success stories. We see the legacy that we're continuing and those who have came from where we are. So it just reinstills that confidence that, again, no matter what happens in life, no matter what folks try to say, you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
Wow. That was powerful. And you know what was so powerful about that? All of you who are listening on this platform, Historically Black Sense, and shout out to Historically Black Sense, the premier platform for everything HBCU, HBCU brilliance, HBCU excellence, HBCU culture, Black brilliance, Black excellence, the divine nine, non-divine nine, just everything HBCU, right? Everything Historically Black Sense is that platform. So make sure you are following Historically Black Sense to keep up on every positive aspect, positive news of Black folk. You want some positive news on Black folk, come to Historically Black Sense. You know, one of the things that MC did, he didn't just raise his hand to answer. He didn't wait for Uncle Keith to give him permission to answer. He just jumped right in. And what I want you to know under this We Gon Make It Anyway movement, you don't need permission to be great. You don't need anybody's permission to elevate. See, if I would have told him to go, then that's living under supervision. And so you see the way he chimed in tonight, I'm just letting them chime in. You know, I'm letting them chime in because we're tired of living under supervision. What MC showed y'all tonight is if you want to make it anyway, don't just live under supervision, have a super vision. Let me say that again. Don't just live under supervision, have a super vision. So I'm going to see who's going to jump in next, you know, who has that super vision and just answer the question.
I want to go next because I feel HBCUs, they're amazing, especially at the greatest HBCU, which is Virginia State University. If I may brag for a little bit, I was recently, as of 2 days ago, I was in a room with foreign diplomats that if I was at another college, if I was at PWI, we're about an hour away from Tech here. If I was at Virginia Tech, I would not have been in that room probably. Since being at HBCU, I've met a female Black lawyer, the first that I've ever met in my entire life. I've met several politicians, several lawmakers. I've been in rooms with people that I would most definitely not have met if I had not attended an HBCU. Simply because my college, my school believes that it's important for me to be in those rooms, for me to meet those people. Other schools, I probably would have been sidelined. I probably would have been made to wait till my upperclassmen years. As we said, I'm just a freshman. I'm the freshman class president, but I'm still a freshman. Those opportunities typically go to upperclassmen, but my school believes in me and believes in my goals and my mission enough to put me in these positions, put me in these places. And I feel like that's something truly magical about HBCUs because they truly care and cater to their students and their success and dreams.
Wow. Did you hear what advocating Aaliyah just said? Aaliyah said at her HBCU, the Virginia State University, they believe in putting the freshmen and all of their scholars in rooms of global influence. Did you hear what I said? She said if she were at a PWI, predominantly white institution, she probably would not have had the opportunity to be in the room. And so it's very important that we support our HBCUs, that we advocate for our HBCUs, that we have our HBCUs know that we gonna make it anyway, regardless of what others think. So Aaliyah was in the room. That's so very important because I believe our HBCUs will not only compete because they're already competing with PWIs across the country. Not only will our HBCUs compete, but when our HBCUs have more resources and more access, they will exceed many of those PWIs. All right. And I don't have anything against PWIs because I speak at a lot of PWIs, but I'm talking about access right now. I'm talking about HBCUs. I'm talking about access and resources and exposure. And when that happens, our HBCUs will excel at levels that are even greater than a lot of those PWIs out there. So Aaliyah talked about being in the room. It's powerful to be in the room. And I saw the way her posture changed when she said, I was in the room. Okay. She was in the room on a global stage. That's what happens when you're at a HBCU. Come on now. Who's coming up next? Oh, I'm loving this.
I'll speak next. And it's a short story. On a college tour last year, I went on an HBCU college tour, and I was at Howard. And my college tour guide, his name is Julius Shanks. I think he graduated from Howard this year, if I'm not mistaken. He said, you spend most of your life being the minority, spend 4 years being the majority." And that quote has stuck with me ever since. It's the reason why I came to HBCU in the first place, because being here at Virginia State, it made me realize it's more than a university. It's more than just a school where people walk by each other and hi and bye. It's a family. Any support I need, I can get even walking past the hall. My roommate is a barber. I could go right down the hall, get my hair cut. It's a family. It's a big family. And in a world like this one, you need a family. You need a big family to help support you, carry you. And even if you don't need carrying, they help you even more because everybody needs somebody.
Wow, Justin, that was powerful, Justin. The fact that you remember that quote, and I saw Justin, y'all, on a national stage with President Obama's initiative, My Brother's Keeper program, and it sharpened him. It sharpened him, and to see a young black male who knows that he's a prospect, not a suspect, and that's the MC as well. Our young black men are prospects, not suspects. I need y'all to get that they are prospects, not suspects. And what Justin just said was powerful. We've spent all of our lives being a minority. Spend 4 years being a majority in the majority. You spend all of your years being a minority. Go to a HBCU for those 4 years. You're in the majority. In my case, from the Savannah State University, it took me 5 years to get that BA degree, but I got it. It took my son less time than me, okay, who's also a Savannah State alum, right? Shout out to the Savannah State University. And man, let's just keep this rolling. You spend 4 years being a majority after all of your life being in the minority. Let's keep it rolling. How has attending an HBCU, Mida, how has attending an HBCU benefited you in a world that attempts to minimize the very core of your being?
Absolutely. There's so much I could say, especially considering that my 4 years in college was some of the best and the worst moments at the same time. Because I think when you're in college, you literally face every single struggle you could possibly face, which is why we gonna make it anyway so important. Because there was those moments where I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So my university honestly opened so many doors for me that I probably wouldn't have gotten at any other institution. Delaware State is actually the only school I did apply for, and that is primarily because my high school guidance counselor was just all ears about Del State. She was like, Del State, this. And I'm like, well, it's got to be a good school. It's got to be great because, like, it's the only school she's telling me to really pursue. So I was just like, all right, let me just go pursue it. Didn't know what I was walking into. Didn't know nothing about the HBCU culture. Granted, even as a person of color, as a minority, as a Hispanic, I really didn't know what I was walking into when I was going to college, considering that I was in foster care. So for me, I think the biggest thing that I took away from my HBCU was honestly the community that I was able to build on campus. Even though I didn't physically look like my peers in the sense that I am of a Hispanic background, I found so many similarities with all of my peers. And it was so fascinating because a lot of times as minorities we face a lot of those same struggles in terms of our households, and you don't realize that until you start to have those conversations with people about like where you came from, the things you experienced growing up, and we start to realize that we're more similar than not. During my freshman year I was actually granted the opportunity, and I'll say leadership also, I got that from my HBCU, but I was given the opportunity as a freshman, so shout out to our freshman class president on here, because I started my freshman year not knowing what I was doing, but I was given the opportunity to be president of a community service organization that was geared towards foster care youth, right? Our whole mission and focus was that. And because I was in the system, it made it so easy to make those connections, right? By the time I graduated, I was able to build a community of HBCU students that had also gone through the foster care system. And I didn't realize that so many of us were walking on that campus. And I think that was so important for me because not only going to a school where I really didn't necessarily physically look like anybody, being that I had very similar, growing up experiences as so many students on campus, and they finally felt safe enough to kind of open that up with me, was just an experience that, like, I generally don't think I would have got anywhere else, especially at another HBCU that might have been bigger. I did choose Del State for a reason, because it was small and I wanted something that could build that community for me, because I didn't have that community with family. My entire family is in Puerto Rico, and so I was kind of just going to college by myself, and I was just like, all right, I have to build this community, and I did what I had to do, right? And so being able to leave Del State and leave that impact of, just because we experience foster care, or just because we experience adoption, or just because we experience displacement from the home, or our bio parents aren't in our life, or whatever the case may be, abuse, the whole nine, right? I was able to find that community and build on my leadership the moment I stepped onto campus, not knowing what I was getting myself into. But now looking back, I think me being president of that org is honestly one of the main reasons I got into leadership, and that I was able to do so much on my campus. I remained president of that org for about almost 4 years, and then founded another organization that is blossoming right now at Del State. Same thing, community service. And so being able to kind of leave that impact and take it with me post college, like he said, I recently graduated my master's, so I was able to go back to Del State, graduate my master's, and really just continue to build on that legacy that I started, when I was an undergrad. It's truly like the biggest thing that I took away from my experience. I try to continue to be active on campus, going to different events, meeting the members of my organization, and letting them know that, like, they are not alone. Because sometimes, even at a HBCU where you're supposed to be a majority, it can still feel very isolating when you're new, when you're a freshman, and when you haven't built that community up yet. So that's kind of how Del State and my HBCU really, like, shaped my future in leadership and all of that.
I love that. I thought that was very powerful. You said a word that we need to focus on, and that's what HBCUs are, the core community. That's the core of HBCUs. And nephew LD, you can keep everybody up right now, because they are shaking their heads, because they understand you have community. All right. My nephew, the engineer back there, LD, and the L is for leader and the D is for dynamic, because he made it happen tonight. He's powerful. LD is backstage. You can't see him, but he's still a part of this community, because he's the engineer who's producing this show tonight, who's making it happen. And although you can't see him, his role is a vital role. And that's what happens at an HBCU. There are times when you are backstage at an HBCU, but you still get the accolades even when you're backstage. You see, MC is always on stage, but MC can't do it without that person queuing up that mic, or that person queuing up his music. You understand? Aaliyah as that freshman class president, and Justin as the freshman class vice president at Virginia State University. They are the ambassadors that everyone sees, but they have a team of freshmen that works with them. See, HBCUs emphasize community. MIDA, front and center at Delaware State, MC at Bowie State, the Bowie State University. Listen, all of them, even though they're on this platform tonight, they are still representing millions from their institution. And that's what HBCUs do. They hold us accountable for community. For when one rises, we all rise. And when one falls, we all fall. And that's what it is at an HBCU, because we gonna make it anyway. Wow, I'm just loving these stories that I'm hearing tonight. And speaking of stories, because many of you, those of you who are watching, you know my story. You know that I grew up with two mothers, two fathers, brothers and sisters on both sides, but we gonna make it anyway. My biological parents didn't stay together, but we gonna make it anyway. Loved all four of my parents. One of my dads is deceased, right? But we gonna make it anyway. I was in special ed all my life. They said I talk too much. Now I get paid well to talk, because we gonna make it anyway. Lost a brother to sickle cell anemia, but we gonna make it anyway. I lost a sister to the AIDS virus, but we gonna make it anyway. All right. My mom, 80 years old, is battling Alzheimer's disease, right? And we gonna make it anyway. My question to all of you, as you heard some of Uncle Keith's story, special ed, that's my whole life, but we gonna make it anyway. Okay. I need to know some of your story tonight. I need to hear from you tonight. I need to know some of your story tonight. How has your personal story of resilience helped you to say, we gonna make it anyway? How has your personal story of resilience helped you to say, we gonna make it anyway. You can be real, you can be as transparent as you want. Okay, there might be some things you don't want to share, but if there's something you want to share on this platform that might elevate someone else, that might liberate someone else, that might take people from I'm not gonna make it to we gonna make it anyway, y'all do that. Go ahead, share something about your story of resilience that can help you without a shadow of a doubt. Now say, we gonna make it anyway.
I can start. All right. So I was waiting for this part because I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of traveling, sharing my story, and I think for me, I'm always reminded that I'm writing the narrative to or the life book for somebody, the survival guide. There we go, the survival guide for somebody else. And so being able to have those opportunities, to kind of share a little bit of what I did go through and kind of how I ended up on the other side. Because granted, it was never this pretty, and it still isn't. Like there is still the struggles. I was actually just reflecting earlier a year ago around this time last year, I was literally in like the craziest like tunnel, dark spot. Like I was packing up my apartment, moving out with nowhere to go. Literally a year ago today. So being able to have that moment of reflection earlier today really kind of also like pushed me to be able to kind of know that we're gonna make it anyway with this live, right? But I say that all to say, I experienced foster care. It's everyone knows. I talk about it very openly, and I do that because again, I know I'm writing somebody's survival guide that I wish I had when I was in foster care. I experienced it as a teen, so I was actually a runaway from my mom's house at 15. So that was my sophomore year of high school, and if you remember anything about high school is kind of like that's like your time to shine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that time to shine because I was on the back end trying to figure out where I was gonna live. You know what I'm saying? So I remember being in the state of Delaware's office. They were trying to find a placement for me. Came into foster care, and I remember a car ride that I had with the worker, and he told me straight up. He was like, "Maida, you're probably the happiest child that I've ever seen who was excited to essentially go into foster care, right?" And that was because everything that I was going through at my mom's house, I knew was not normal. I knew it wasn't what I deserved. I knew it wasn't what was meant for me. I knew that I deserved a love and I deserved a supportive family and I deserved somebody that cared about me and somebody that made sure that I was good every day and that like we was gonna make it, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't getting that. And I was very, very mature at 15 to kind of recognize that like this is not okay, right? And I also had to recognize that a lot of it was that generational patterns, right? Not necessarily curses, because I think it's a very strong word, but I'll say generational patterns in the sense of a lot of things that I was facing. I realized that my mom and my grandmom, and above that, they all faced the same struggles, if not worse. Like I remember hearing stories from my grandmom that my mom lived in a car and I've never lived in a car. So I'm like, dang, maybe I do have it good. But then at the same time, like I just experienced it a little differently. Like I experienced all that abuse mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually. I experienced it all in a different capacity, right? But I still experienced it, you know. So I came into foster care, spent all 4 years of high school going into college in care, and kind of like I spoke on earlier about like that limited community. I didn't have nobody. My entire family is literally in Puerto Rico. All I have here is my mom and my siblings, and I don't talk to my mom. So it's just like being able to kind of like get through college. I don't want to say alone, but I do think oftentimes we do feel alone in college, and I think that's why building that community is so important because I felt alone, but I knew I wasn't alone. I knew I had a village. I knew I had a community. I had to reach out. I had to make my due diligence to be like, they're there, but I can't expect them to be there for me if I'm not making it known that I need them there for me, you know? And so I really learned that like early on, thankfully, like I was so young when all this was happening. But being able to just kind of like experience all those different things at my mom's house and going from not really having anybody to having an entire village. I know whoever I call, they got me and I got them, you know. I was able to get through college. I got involved in a lot of leadership, like Coach Keith said, I call him Coach too, but Uncle Keith said earlier, like I was able to help pass bills. And even though I didn't benefit from HB 123, which is House Bill 123, which provides foster care youth that experienced it as a teenager, um, college tuition free, or yeah, college tuition free. It was a waiver. I didn't get to experience that at all. I literally graduated and then we signed the bill and I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, how did I do all this work and I didn't even get the benefit from it? And I think right then is where I learned that like this is never about me. Like Keith said, we're a team. If I make it, they made it. And I remember getting so many messages like, Maida, like, I didn't know you were behind this. I went back to school and I had no idea you were a part of this. Like, all those messages. And so being able to, like, just feel that sense of, like, dang, like, I did this for them, not for me, was a huge game changer. And that's when I realized what my calling was in this life, that I was here, put on this earth to go through whatever I went through, because I don't regret it. I don't regret running away. I don't regret none of that, right? Because at the end of the day, it's allowed me to be an advocate for those that don't have a voice. So I know that's a lot, and I can go on and on and on about my foster care experience, but nonetheless, I appreciate my foster care experience. I had a great experience in terms of my foster parents, my workers, and all of that. And it's the reason why I go so hard, because if I had a good experience, anyone else who's removed from their home for various reasons can also have a good experience. And that's honestly how I've been able to use that resilience to get through, is that, like, if I did it, someone else can. I just gotta be able to open up, be vulnerable, share that survival guide with them that I didn't have when I was going through it. And hope that, you know, others feel that same sense of, dang, like, you can go through everything, but that sun is still shining. It's still there. Even when it's storming out, when it's dark, that sun is there. You just can't see it. But if you get on a plane and go in the sky, you can see the sun. So it's there.
Wow, man. I've cried many times over your story. I've cried many nights over your story. I want to say too, Maida is so special to me because she was my first international intern. She was my intern when she was a freshman at the Delaware State University, and that's why relationships are so important. So I'm honored that she is a part of my tribe, my village, my family. And I often tell her, and this is to anyone who might be in foster care or grew up in foster care, or, you know, experience what Maida experienced, not her same experience, but some of what she experienced, that when others walked out on her, she walked in on herself. When others walked out on her, she walked in on herself, discovered what she was, who she was, and whose she was. And she has that village in that community. I thought that was so very powerful. And I want to keep the stories going. And I know She Pharaoh, because She Pharaoh is performing tonight, y'all. She's on the platform and she got a performance later on tonight. So I'm so honored for her to be here. I want you, to touch on the resilience and how your story of resilience has brought you to a point where now you can say, we gonna make it anyway.
I would say for me, it was when I decided. So I don't have a degree, actually, not yet, right? When I decided to quit school and pursue art full time, um, nobody understood. Like, I think, and then, Lola, my grandmother is an educator, a college professor, retired educator. My mom's an educator, so everyone was in education. Everyone had that degree. Everybody, did it the cookie cutter way. And so when I didn't want to do it how everybody else wanted me to do it, it was definitely like a difficult plane to traverse with my family. Um, and then it wasn't until like earlier this year, my mom and I were having a conversation. And when you become an adult, there are conversations you're able to have with your parents that you weren't able to have as a child. And so when I was sitting down and having one of those like conversations with my mom said to me, she said, Maureen, you're so bold. And she was like, I wish I had the gall to do exactly what I wanted to do, how you're doing exactly what you want to do, regardless of whether people agree, understand, see the direction it's going in. So for me, like, I knew I was going to make it anyways when was able to see that me just existing and doing what makes me get up and go, like operating in my purpose, whether people understand or not, seeing how that liberated my mom, and then now seeing how it's liberating my grandmother and seeing how it's liberating my little cousins who are deciding that they may not want to go the traditional route, and even inspiring some of my little cousins who do want to go to college, like making them understand that like it's your life, it's a decision that you have to make, and you have to be happy with those decisions. And beyond all of that, like you have to have the tenacity to do it, whether people see your plan or not, whether people understand what direction you're intending to go in or not. Just having the tenacity to do so, having the understanding that greater is he that dwells within me than he is in the world. And so the world is not going to understand all the time, and being okay with that. So like that's just part of my journey, you know. There's like so much more, right? But you know, I try not to be loquacious. But yeah, that's when I knew, all right, I'm going where I'm supposed to go. When you're not doing it for like self gratification, like you're doing it because you see how it makes somebody else feel, you see how it makes somebody else feel seen. So yeah, that's She Pharaoh.
Wow, that's so powerful. I mean, that's so deep because you stepped out on faith and I stepped out on faith to do this over 2 decades ago as a global speaker. And, you know, my parents, you know, and others in the family said the same thing. You know, I remember my grandmother saying, you what? You gonna leave teaching? What about your direction? I said, well, I don't know about my direction, but you taught me about the director. And somebody else is like, what about your benefits? You know, I think it was my mom and pop said, what about your benefits? I said, well, I don't know about the benefits, but I know the benefactor. Okay. And so I had to really follow my path. And my parents didn't agree. They loved me. My grandmother, family they didn't agree. Okay. Not even She Pharaoh's Lola, her grandmother, my auntie, right? She didn't even agree with my decision at the time. They loved me. They wanted the best for me, but they were under that 40-40-40 plan where, you know, you work for 40 years, 40 hours a week, and you earn 40,000 or a little more a year, and then you retire off of social insecurity. You know, that's just what it was. And I'm so proud of these Black youth and this Latina young adult that I have on the platform tonight, you know, because they going after it. Historically Black Sense, man, the visionary for Historically Black Sense, Adrena, she's going after it. LD, the engineer for Historically Black Sense, he's going after it. My son at 29, he going after it. It's not the same path, y'all. So guess what? Let me just say this, though. For all of y'all scholars from HBCUs and y'all listening tonight and you like, yeah, She Pharaoh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Forget what my parents say. That's what I'm going to do. Pump the brakes for a second. Before you say that and make, that's why Leah's laughing. Before you do that and make that decision, understand this, that She Pharaoh made her decision, but she putting in some sweat equity. She Pharaoh made her decision, but she's doing the work. And so whatever your decision is, you got to do the work. All right. You make adult decisions, then guess what? You're going to have to hold yourself accountable to those adult decisions. So you're going to have to do the work, right? Don't be like one of my mentees, right? Who talk about Uncle Keith, I'm a producer. I'm a producer. You know, he got a family. I'm a producer. I'm a rapper. I'm a producer, but he ain't bringing in no money in the house, y'all. You understand? You know, I want to tell him we gonna make it anyway, but MC, he ain't bringing in no money in the house. So I said, look, you can rap and you can be a producer, but right now I need you to go to the grocery store and work in the produce section and start wrapping up some fruits and vegetables. You understand? You need to bring some money in, and then you can say we gonna make it anyway, because you can help finance your dream. So that's some real talk. That's some real talk, She Pharaoh. What's up, Aaliyah? Give me a story of resilience, right now that has helped you to say we gonna make it anyway, because you heard what Maida said. Got us in tears up here. You heard what She Pharaoh said, and I'm rocking with the ladies right now. So Aaliyah, do you have a personal story of resilience that can help you say, we gonna make it anyway?
Well, personally, I feel like my whole life could be a story of resilience. I come from a single mother household. It was just me, my mom, and my brother. My father, he didn't want any parts of my life, but you know, you move on. You adjust as you have to. I've experienced a lot of traumatic experiences at the age of 13 and even before that, to the point that those experiences made it to I couldn't do well in school. I had done well in school when I was younger, but when I got to around high school, it became challenging. I couldn't turn in my work. I couldn't focus because I was dealing with all the issues in my home life and my personal life. I was I wasn't ditching class. I couldn't ditch class. My mom didn't play that. But I wasn't turning in my work. I couldn't focus on my work because I was focused on the situation with my father. I was focused with dealing with the traumas that I had experienced. I was focused on everything else that it made it impossible to focus on my education. and it made it impossible to make me to deal and heal with the situations that I went through, because it just felt like more and more stuff kept coming onto it, and it felt like I should have just gave up. There were times where I thought, but my counselor would be like, Leah, I want you to fill out this application. I want you to take the SAT on this day. I feel like this will be a good day for you to do this. I feel like you can really benefit from this opportunity. And there were times I'd be like, why are you giving this to me? I can't do this. There were times I wanted to just give up, throw in the towel. And I was like, forget college. I'll just stay. I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia. So I was like, I'll just stay home. I'll work at the shipyard. I'll go to TCC, which is our local community college, and that'll just be my life. I'm I'm a first generation college student. So my grandmother, she went to college, but that's about it. My mother never went to college. My older brother never went to college. So when we started filling out these papers, it was just me. And to be quite frankly, to be quite frank, like I said, when I was in high school, I wasn't really doing my work. So it wasn't until the last year that I really started getting help. I had a mentor that he had been with me since my sophomore year of high school, and senior year was when he really started seeing the payoff on that investment in me. And it was then that Virginia State took a chance on me. Other colleges, they would have looked at me and they would have been like, you don't qualify. You don't get to go to our school. You're not smart enough. You can't make it in college. But Virginia State saw me. They gave me a chance. They have a program here called the Summer Bridge Program. They said, come here for the summer, take these 2 classes. We would love to see you in the fall. And that's what I did. And that's how I'm here now. And they've not only equipped me with the chance to get an education, but they've given me the tools to continue to thrive, to heal from those traumas of my life from when I was younger. And they've given me the ability to actually say, we gonna make it anyway.
Whoo, man, y'all. This is deep. That's all I can say. This is deep. Aaliyah, once again, she's in the room. They said, come take these 2 classes. And they said, we would love to have you. It was something about her. She didn't give up. And I just want to say this, Aaliyah, you didn't come from a fatherless home. You simply came from a mother more home. Let me say that. You didn't come from a fatherless home. You just came from a mother more home. And I love what you said, baby. We gonna make it anyway. Wow. I'm just loving this. I'm loving this, y'all. I'm loving this. In the few minutes we have left, I definitely have to hear from my nephews before we leave tonight, because this has been such a powerful, powerful, powerful kickoff and launch for the We Gon Make It Anyway HBCU campaign right here on the premier platform for everything HBCU, historically Black sense. Just in time, resilience. How has resilience in your life helped you say, we gonna make it anyway?
My story of resilience isn't even my own. It's my mother's. She had me at 17 years old. I'm sure she's watching right now. She had me at 17 years old in high school, her junior year, and her plan was to go to Howard, a news broadcaster for mass communications, and she's been my guiding light, honestly. Her resilience, she showed up time and time again, showed me that she can't be knocked down. She just purchased her first house 4 years ago. So she's been the main factor to everything. And as she would say, there is no resilience without faith. Her God is her guiding light. God is our guiding light. She is instilled that in me, and it's still to this day. Even when I came here, they canceled the payment plan, and because we couldn't pay it. But my mom was like, "Don't worry, God has it." And you know me, I'm still overthinking all that, and especially because during that time I was going through a breakup. I was like, I don't even want to be here. I want to go back home. I want to go back to New York. I don't even feel like I feel like laying in the bed. But she was like, don't worry, God has got it. And she kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So come to find out, my dad applied for the Parent Plus loan and he didn't even need to because my debt was already paid. And as far as the breakup, I've had my fun in college. She has instilled in me that God has got my back. His resilience and his faith in me as his child is enough for me to do anything. I even got the tattoo. Everything is possible for the one who believes. She has been my guiding light, and she's watching this now. Mom, I love you. You have done it all. You've done it all, and I'm doing this for you now. I'm doing this for you, and I'm doing this for me because you instilled that in me. So as far as resilience goes, the most resilient person I know has been my mom, and that resilience that she has is from God Himself. So that's my story, her story actually.
Ooh. Hmm. Dang. Yeah, the tears are flowing now. That was it. To hear him say, "Mom, I love you." That just broke me right there in that moment. You know, as I think about my own mom battling Alzheimer's disease, man, that just, he said his mom kept feeding him with God has it, God has it, God has it, God has it, you know. And I just want to say, man, that is so powerful. That I love your mother. You understand? I'm sending love to your mother right now, man. Justin, that's why I said just in time. And he got the tattoo that said it's possible for all those who believe. So listen, y'all, don't you give up, scholars. Don't you give up. Let your story motivate you, elevate you, educate you, accelerate you, and ultimately it's going to graduate you. I'm telling you, let your story do all of those things. Justin, that was so powerful, nephew. That was so powerful. And all of you have the village. Find your villagers. Find that, right? He's doing it for his mom. That's a part of his why. I just love that. MC, you are one of the greatest MCs on the planet, but certainly you've had a story of resilience that has brought you to a point where you can now say, we gonna make it anyway.
So I think for me, I actually hear like a lot of parts of my story within just the stories of my fellow panelists tonight. A story of believing in my own self. With me, I come from a background of artists and entertainers, fashion designers within my family, and so I originally started off with music. That was the producer, the rapper. I was writing for other artists as well. And then after becoming, joining Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, that's when I kind of had that transition into more the media, the hosting. And so I really had to take a leap of faith on myself. This is why I give so much credence to Bowie State for just seeing the vision that I have, and just, yo, I'm a kid that just likes to be on a mic. Like, my story gets really as simple as that. I'm just a guy that just likes to be on the mic, and I envision myself selling out arenas. I envision myself hosting concerts, putting on my own shows and whatnot. So to have that, to even at some point have my parents who were supportive of, me going full time with music and whatnot, but didn't really see it how I saw it when it came to wanting to pursue the media, the hosting, the radio and things like that. And to see that switch of support in a sense, and of course they still love and support me, and now they're starting to see what I do, and they push me even further with what I do. But just knowing that sometimes everyone else may not see what you're trying to see, but if God puts it in your heart, it's there for a reason. Like, it may not make sense to everyone else. It may not make sense to your friends. Your friends may not be as supportive of you as you would like, but if it's in your heart, if it's in your mind, if God put it there, it's there for a reason. So I'm thankful for just my story being just a walk with God. Like, as his son, I put you on this earth for a reason, though sometimes it may feel like what I'm doing may go in vain, or it's not been, I'm not getting the turnout or the result I would want. But just sometimes how I can have that one person was like, yo, seeing you on that stage doing what you want to do inspired me to do what I do. And so it goes back to earlier being said today of how sometimes what we do is it's not even for us. Like, we're not on this earth doing what we do just for us. It's to impact those around us and to encourage them. So my story is just walking with God and trusting with him, falling off with God, and now putting myself, him bringing me back into a position where it's like, you're my son. I called you here to do this. It's just walking and trusting has been my whole journey for real. So that's me in a nutshell, pretty much.
Wow. When everybody else doesn't see what God has for you, you have to see it. You have to see it. When everybody wants you to live under supervision, you have to have that supervision. And that has helped MC be the resilient individual that he is to make him be able to say, we gonna make it anyway. Y'all, we are about out of time, man. But I'm telling you, I've cried tonight. I've laughed tonight. I was turning my head tonight, y'all, because I was taking so many notes from these powerful panelists. And I want you to know before we go, I want LD, my nephew in engineering, he's going to show a clip from the Virginia State University, because sometimes they might have said it, man. Sometimes it's dim and the sun is still shining. Everybody talked about something in their lives where it was a dim time, but the sun was still shining. The lights were still on, you know? So I want you to know whatever you're going through, you're not just going through, you are growing through. So I want everybody to be able to say these 4 affirmations that I said earlier. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. And I'm a genius. As a matter of fact, I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. As a matter of fact, let me do it like this, because we only got a few minutes left. Let me do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. And I'm a genius. Y'all do it with me. 1, 2, 3. And I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. Last time. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. Yeah. Hey. That's it right there, y'all. Y'all got to, if you believe we gonna make it anyway, if you want to be able to say we gonna make it anyway, do those 4 affirmations every day. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. Before we go, my nephew back there, leading and dynamic, LD, has a clip from the Virginia State University that's going to help all of you be able to say, we gonna make it anyway. LD, cue that up for me.
Reach a little higher. Get on your tippy toes. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hold on. Don't you ever turn your mind out. Come on. Hold up. Don't you put your, hey, if you get tired, switch hands. Switch hands if you get tired. But don't you put your hands down. We gotta have each other. We gotta have each other's back. Come on. We will rise. Hold on. Look at.
Yeah, that's it. If you get tired, switch hands, but don't you put your light down. If that light is in your right hand, you get tired, put it in your left hand. If you get tired, then link up with somebody else who can help you hold your light up. But that's what it said. We, y'all notice the pronoun I used is we, because we gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. I'm so thankful to Historically Black Sense, the premier platform for everything HBCU, advocating awesome Adrena back there, the visionary. She's a global visionary, y'all. When you see Historically Black Sense, she stepped out on faith to do this. LD, the engineer, shout out to him, and Clark Atlanta University, shout out to him. And to all of my panelists tonight, they're going to come off mute one by one. They're going to give you their social media. I'm going to close with the We Gon Make It Anyway chant, and we're going to be out of here. But guess what? This is the launch of the We Gon Make It Anyway HBCU, launch of the HBCU campaign for We Gon Make It Anyway. Shout out to my publicist who is watching, Adrian Allen, to my family who's watching, Savannah State University who's watching, and I just love all of y'all. I am so full tonight. I couldn't have had a better launch. And to those HBCU student leaders across the country, you want to join this movement, you want to be on a platform like this, I want y'all to DM Historically Black Sense. Send a DM to Historically Black Sense, or send me one at Keith L. Brown _ on IG, Keith L. Brown _ on Instagram, Historically Black Sense or Keith L. Brown _ and we will definitely get you on this platform because this is what we're doing. We're going to be doing this every month, and you're just going to be able to see so much of the We Gon Make It Anyway movement. So I want y'all one at a time. Come on to my nieces and my nephews. Y'all were powerful tonight, and I'm saying GOODJOB. Good job, good job. Give your social media so that everybody can follow you, because guess what? I know they want to follow you. And let me say this to everybody. Stop following people who are not worth your follow, okay? Everybody on this platform tonight, they are worthy of your follow. They are worthy of your follow. So one at a time, I want y'all to come off mute and go ahead and give your social media so that everyone can follow you.
Once again, y'all, I go by the name MC. You can look right down there with we're right there. The white right there says @I am Project MC on all social media. Again, shout out to all the panelists on here. Shout out to Uncle Keith, man, and we're gonna make it anyway. Feel me?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So same thing. If you look down in the bottom, that way. It's a little backwards on my screen, but on the bottom left corner, all of my platforms are under my first name and my last name. So Maida, Mayda, last name Berrios. Everything is under the same name, so super easy. Connect with me. Would love to get to know you guys. Let me know how I could be of support to you, and hope that you find insight in following my page as well. Like Uncle Keith said, follow people that are good for you. I've done so many unfollowing sprees because we need it. So make sure you following some dope people because it'll really change your life.
My name is @JustToBeLoved. You can see, and I am my uncle's nephew. So if y'all need help with anything, if you need a text message, I'm DM me. I'll help with anything. You guys are worth it. If you listen on this call, I know I'm young, but I got a little wisdom. I got a little wisdom in the tank.
Once again, my name is Aaliyah Gardner. My Instagram is @themixang. That's the MXANG. I'm not really active up there. I'm so sorry. I'm not really active up there. But if you message me, I will message you back. I would love to connect with all of y'all.
Hi, you guys. I'm She Pharaoh, the Grand Doodle, Good Noodle, and you guys are all good noodles too. If you guys would like to find me, you can find me at shepharaoh.com. Once again, it's she.PHARAOH on all platforms. I do have a book out presently called Curious Case of Blackness. It is available on my website. Definitely get that. I'm available for bookings. I do it all, guys. So yeah, hope to see you soon. Make good choices. Hug somebody, love somebody with their consent, though, and study to show thyself approved a workman unto God. Need not be ashamed, but rightly divided in the word of truth. Make good choices, noodles.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. I want everybody, we about to go. I want y'all to unmute your mics right now because we got to go back and give that chant because this is how we got to do it. Y'all know what it is. Go ahead and unmute your mics. Everybody at home, unmute your mics as well. Why did I say unmute your mics? Because sometimes you are silent when you need to be speaking up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Historically Black Sense. Uncle Keith in the building. What's up, y'all? Check it. Let me hear y'all. Y'all see.
I would also like to connect.
We gonna make it anyway.
We gonna make it.
We gonna make it anyway.
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 We gonna make it anyway. Check it.
We gonna make it anyway.
You gonna reach your destiny. I got Maida, She Pharaoh, and I got MC. Hey, and that's all right. I'm busting this rhyme. I got Aaliyah. I got Justin just in time. I'm Uncle Keith, y'all. It's that HBCU. Hey, and that's all right. Yes, I see you. When others don't let them stay. But in your heart, say, we gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway.
We gonna make it anyway.
We gonna make it anyway.
We gonna make it anyway.
We gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. We gonna make it anyway. Yeah. That's it, y'all. Historically Black Sense. Uncle Keith, on behalf of She Pharaoh, Mida, MC, Justin, Aaliyah, on behalf of the Delaware State University, the Bowie State University, the Virginia State University, the Savannah State University, in the background, Tuskegee University, in the background, Clark Atlanta University, and all HBCUs across the country. We want you to tune in to this We Gon Make It Anyway movement. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here every month. Every week you're going to see something. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in. GOODJOB. Good job. Good job. And at the end of the day, always remember, can we say it together, y'all? Unmute your mics. Unmute your mics. Unmute your mics. At the end of the day, remember, we're going to say what? We gon' make it anyway. We love y'all, and we out. Peace. Yeah.